So the Gen 2 Recce, or otherwise known as the NSW Recce or the M4 Recce. This is the most well-known of all of the DEVGRU Recce variants. So what I'm going to do is kind of go top to bottom, talk about some of the parts, and try to introduce some of the history. I do want to note that a lot of other people know a lot more about the system. So the history I am going to talk about is a bit of the unique stuff that Allen Engineering knows. So here at the end, we have the M4 Recce suppressor. This suppressor was made in the mid-90s for DEVGRU. This suppressor specifically mounts over the barrel almost 4 inches, and it is mounted to originally a Lilja barrel. The Lilja barrels are 17 inches, closer to 16.5. The way these original collars fit up was with a set screw and bedded in Loctite. However, we will be coming out with a new print that gives this collar a step to seat against. Since the original method isn't great, it is kind of problematic. This new method is a lot more robust and takes a lot of lessons from the Mark 12 program. And it's important to note that these suppressors and this system actually do predate the Mark 12 program by a few years. By the times these were being used in the mid-90s, the Mark 12 program hadn't yet officially started. So a lot of lessons like the SPR collar and the SPR step hadn't yet been introduced. So that's why this early system seems a bit antiquated to today's standards. So we will be putting out a barrel that kind of brings it up to date. These barrels were originally carbine length gas. Mid-length gas hadn't yet kind of been widely adopted. So further down we have the Knights Armament free float RAS rail. When the original Recces were being made, they were still trying to figure out free float rails. So you can see a photo of Craig Sawyer or Sawman with an early Gen 1 prototype Recce with a metal tube and Picatinny rail kind of bolted on the side. That was them trying to figure out free float rails. They would later settle with the Knights rail since those metal tubes didn't really hold very well and they were a lot more heavy. Underneath we have an Atlas bipod. You would also see Harris bipods being used. Going down, we have a Colt AF marked receiver and a Colt low receiver with a Colt bolt carrier group, pretty standard for the time. Above, we have Night Force NXS scope with a Dr. piggyback red dot. For the time, these were pretty great. You know, nowadays we've kind of accepted LPVOs, but for the mid to late 90s where these started being adopted, it was kind of cutting edge. So this 2.5 to 10 power with a compact size was really great for the Recce rolls. And then again, we've kind of adopted piggyback red dots, but for the time, cutting edge. However, this optic, the Dr. Red Dot, is kind of trash. It's made out of plastic and would break pretty often. So that's why later they would move to, you know, aim point micro red dots. It is mounted to the upper with Night Force rings. Here at the rear, we have a carbine length buffer with originally LMT SOP mod stock. A lot of the information about these rifles has already been widely spread. The only thing that is kind of new information is the suppressors and barrels. As you're looking around and you see that a lot of people are saying 15-1 barrels, that's wrong. We have a whole video on why that's wrong. Check that out. That's why we wanted to talk about this new system and kind of show you how the system runs. So like most of our videos, we're going to go shoot it, do a couple of drills, get a good feel for this rifle and the modern Recce, and then talk about our feelings a little bit later on.
Okay, so for our first drill with our Gen 2 Recce, we're going to be pulling the gun out of the car, coming around the front here, closing the door, so that's good manners. There's a target out at about 350 yards out in the field. Engage with 2 rounds on that target, then we shift to the back, throw your bag down, and then there's another target out at about 300 yards next to a tote, and then that one as well, engage with 2 rounds. And see who gets the fastest time.
Let's do it.
Put your ears on.
with this can, don't need it.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. You ready?
Yep. This is the starting position.
God damn.
Woo!
I'm a sniper, boy.
$21, $28.
21.
21.
Good. Nice. 24-43.
Sweet.
Nice. $25.05.
21. Just getting 25.
Okay, for the second drill with the Gen 2, we're going to be doing again a little transition drill between these posts and then a couple targets out there. So on this first post, there's a circular target just on the other side of those rocks. We'll engage one shot on that, pivot, and then engage one shot on the square target just to the left. Shift over to the shorter post over here. Get down on our knees and then do the same thing but reverse. So engage the square target and then a shot on the circular target.
All right. That sounds.
Wait. Are these targets?
You see the out here. Oh wait, I only need one on that one. There we go. Oh, I got extra credit maybe.
33.53.
Okay. There you go. Shaved off some time. 44.08.
Sweet.
Go. 37.90.
All right. That's a hard one.
A little challenge.
All right, so we're back in the studio. We were on the range shooting the Gen 2 Recce, and so we are going to follow the format that you're familiar with at this point if you've been watching our videos. And we're gonna just talk a little bit about the weapon. We're gonna go over the three main points, which are wieldability, shootability, and from our perspective, field practicality. So I'm gonna go ahead and just pass this one over to you, Brian.
All right. So this is the kind of the GOAT.
This is the GOAT.
This is the one everyone thought they were building.
Yep.
Yep. Which there's a reason for it. Like, it is the most, I guess, well-known one. It's most photos. Parts are the most available. Knight's handguards were a little bit scarce at the beginning. Now they're...
You can get them.
Yeah, you can get them.
They're not like the easiest rail to get, but...
Yeah, they're a little pricier than the Midwest, but
yeah.
you could obtain them.
But there's a reason why this is kind of the GOAT when it comes to the Recce rifles. Overall, I loved it. I think this is an awesome rifle to shoot. When it comes to wieldability, it is very well balanced. You know, you have your suppressor, which is a little bit heavier, handguard, which is a little bit weightier, and then further back, you've got your scope. I just felt like it was well balanced. There was no lopsidedness to it. It was very wieldable. And that kind of leads into shootability. While it isn't as heavy as other guns, really helped it stay a little bit more flat shooting than lighter options, which means we were just able to stay on target a little bit better. You know, the carbine gas system is a little bit punchy. When it comes to field practicality, I think it's probably makes the most sense. It has that 16.5 barrel, which can reach out a little bit further. It feels a little bit shorter. You know, this is a 12 something handguard. You know, kind of older LPVO. It just makes sense for what they needed it to do. So if I were to have to, you know, be a soldier in the field and end up having to use this, I wouldn't complain. I think it does everything I need it to do. When it comes to the weight, it's not so heavy, so I could still, maybe I overestimate my ability to hike up a hill. But this seems a little bit easier than the heavier options. And when it comes to gunfights, still very controllable.
Very capable.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
How do you feel?
Yeah, I mean, I knew going into this that I was going to have a positive experience with it. My 15-1 Recce that uses the Craddock barrel, I've got the Knight's rail on it. I really like quad rails. It's a very familiar feeling rifle to me, and it is the GOAT. I mean, when people think of Recce, NSW Recce, this is what they see in their head, right? They see that Knight's rail, they see the AE suppressor butted up against that rail, perfect gap that Redditors hyperfixate on. This thing does it without even trying. This was the, you know, suppressor gap gun before that was even a fad. So I do think it's the GOAT, like you said earlier. In terms of the wieldability, I think this thing balances really well. I mean, I really like this configuration with the SOP mod stock, a little bit more weight in the back. Yeah, it's a heavier reflex can, but it's also a heavier rail, and it's just really, it balances very well. I do like the feel of the quad rail, the 1913 slots on the bottom on a bag while you're shooting, because it kind of acts as serration, so it doesn't slide around like the Midwest rail does, or M-LOK rails do, for example. So very wieldable in my opinion. And
Grippy.
It's grippy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can say that, yeah.
Yeah, you
That's
could
how
say
we
that.
like it.
Yeah, we do like it grippy. Also, shootability. It's a very shootable gun, in my opinion. I mean, you've got, you know, Knight's rail like I spoke about before, the balance of it. It's not super light, but it's also not overly heavy either. It's kind of in the middle, in my opinion. Geisley two-stage trigger makes it very shootable, makes it an awesome familiar experience. And so wrapping these into my, perspective of the field, the realistically, is this like a fieldable weapon? Yeah, I think so. I think that this kind of merges, and meets in the middle, where you have like the 416. It's awesome, but it's really heavy. And then you have the Gen 3, very cool, but it's really light and it's kind of a weird balance. And then you've got Gen 2, and it's just like Gen 2 does Gen 2 things, and we know about that, and it's awesome. It's a good experience. So what do you think, Wes?
Yeah, just piggybacking off of your guys' thoughts. It's a very shootable gun. Wieldability, like, I tend to gravitate towards a heavier gun anyway, just based off of, I guess, my little experience of competition shooting, but just shooting in general, getting a feel for what I like and what works well with me. Something like this works really well for me. I was able to pull off a couple of doubles out to 300 yards, 350, and with this barrel length, those bullets travel pretty fast, and just hearing the double impact is pretty fun. So shootability, awesome. Wieldability, the balance is great for me. It's very similar to one of my setups that I have personally, and fieldability, like you said, I think it's a very practical choice. It's going to do a lot of the things that you want it to do, what you're going to be doing anyway. I think honestly this fits the role of a general purpose rifle better than some of the modern general purpose rifles out there, due to the fact that the overall length with a 16.5 inch barrel is going to be very comparable to like a 14.5 that you see modern suppressors on. So I think the only thing lacking on it currently as this is set up is, of course, the LPVO, the NXS. All of us will say that this reticle, this optic, is a little bit lacking for our modern standards, but putting ourselves back into that time frame of when that was around, it's a very capable optic. The adjustments from the dials are MOA adjustments, and then the reticle's mill is a little odd for modern, like for my modern take of shooting. But once we got some trigger time behind it, it was pretty easy to kind of understand the reticle and get behind the gun and shoot it and do pretty well with it. But overall, this is my top choice of the three. Again, the 416, then the Gen 3, and there's good reason for that. And I think there's really nothing but positive things to say about this platform here.
I think there's only really two things about this gun that aren't up to modern standards. One is the gas system. I think a 16.5 inch barrel with a carbine length gas system, we've moved past that. These guns could be gassed a lot better if you were to go to a mid-length system or intermediate. And then the optic system, again, it's an old optic. We've come a long way. Modern optics, even like cheap modern optics, compete with this like a primary arms, a fraction of the cost, probably outperforms it.
Yeah, way cleaner glass for sure.
Yeah. So, but besides that, but that's the testament to how great this rifle is. If those are the only two parts of this gun that aren't to modern standards, everything else is holding up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where does it land on your ranking then? Like with the other Recce rifles?
I'd say it's in the middle. I still really love the 416. I felt like it was softer shooting. I felt like it had a better shooting experience, mainly to do with that weight.
Yeah.
But this one still is a little bit heavier. If it were to be up to me on, which one would I buy as a, person, this would be smack dab in the middle. It would be HK 416, M4 Gen 2, Gen 3.
Yeah. I mean, I'm still where I'm at, from the other videos, to where Gen 2 would be my number one, 416, and then Gen 3. We've learned a lot throughout this series, shooting these rifles. It's been really fun. And yeah, I think even after I've had all that trigger time with the other rifles, this one is still going to be #1 for, you know, our criteria here.
It's important to also preface it by saying, you know, we're not expert shooters.
No,
to be honest, I mean, you've seen us shoot.
If you think we're experts and you've seen us shooting, you're not an expert at all.
Yeah, we
kind of suck at shooting.
But then again, you guys probably suck at shooting too.
Yeah, don't kid yourselves.
Yeah, don't kid yourselves. We all suck at shooting, so take it from somebody who also sucks at shooting. It's really awesome.
Take it from a couple of regular dudes.
Just regular guys doing regular dude things.
Well, I wouldn't call myself a regular.
You do have the cry pants.
I do have cry pants.
Bro's got connections.
I've got a 416. Oh no, don't loop me in with the rest of you guys.
He's getting a complex.
Yeah.
By the way, if you guys haven't already, go ahead and subscribe to the channel, because we're gonna keep making videos. Nobody's gonna make us stop making videos.
Even if you were to try to stop us, it's not going to happen.
We're not gonna stop.
I saw the guy in the comments saying that this seems like an excuse for us to go out and shoot. And it is. We're doing this to go out and have fun.
Go play with model trains, brother. We're gonna stick to making these awesome videos. So go ahead and subscribe. Like the video, leave a comment. The comment section is under control. Filled with
It's very
awesome
tame.
feedback.
Honestly, very positive.
It is very positive. Anyways, guys, if you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel and like it, comment on it, just saying whatever you want to say, even if you're going through a really rocky divorce, just talk about that. Like we'll take all the help we can get. And we really do appreciate it. It does mean a lot, because this is work for us, but it's also work that we're passionate about. We have fun doing this stuff. Buy AE merch.
Buy it.
Shoot your AE suppressors though. Shoot your clones. Have fun. Go out on the range. Thanks again, and we will catch you on the next one.